then I messed that whole thing up. I was gonna do a really cool like can crack, and I didn't work at all. What is up, YouTube? Hey guys, what is going on? It has been a hell of a week. I have been poked and prodded and tortured, and I'm not even talking about what happened last Tuesday at Zoe Reborn, the escape room. Let me try to refocus. Let me focus this a little bit. Oh, I know why it's not focusing. Because it decided other camera on. There we go. Now you can see more of my pretty face. Oh, so okay, enough about me. Let's talk about you guys. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Click 1 in the chat if you're doing okay. Whatever that means. Today there's been a lot of I know my power didn't just go out because this light's still on. Well, whatever. We'll deal with it. If there's a ghost in the garage, there's a ghost in the garage. That's just the way it goes. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on, and I want to just we'll talk about it. I know there's a lot of hey, maybe it was a ghost, Martin. I don't know. Oh, Chris, you get spring break? You get spring break, man? I don't get spring break. I just work all the time, and I hate it. But pays the bills. And when you live in Southern California and you have 4 kids for some reason, you roll with the punches, right? You sip your LaCroix and you just do it. I want to share. Where's my screen share? Where's my screen share, guys? Here it is. I don't do this Evie Mux thing enough. Ooh, you gonna rescue a puppy? What kind of puppy you looking at? You know what I want? And don't tell my dogs. I want a French bulldog, but everybody has one now, so I feel like it's just kind of like a whatever thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay. Let me pull this up. Working education, get school breaks. You know, it's funny because Andrea's the same way. She gets the breaks from working. Okay. Oh, you want a big dog? Martin wants a big dog, a Saint Bernard. I can deal with that. Or Aussie Shepherd. Aussie Shepherds, those are the super smart ones, right? Those are the really smart dogs. Sometimes have different colored eyeballs, right? I don't know. I have a mini poodle and a golden doodle, so I have a small dog and a big dog. But you know, yeah. So that'll be fun. So we'll just kind of get with it. I know everybody's ready for this, right? Boysenberry Festival. Everybody's ready for the Boysenberry. Excuse me. This is my main go-to for everything that has to do with Knott's Berry Farm. You have the funkiest dog mix. Is it a funkerdoodle? You have a funkerdoodle, John? If you do not, and I'm just going to assume that everybody has at this point. A golden doodle husky. Wow. Would that be hypoallergenic, or you just get the psychoticness of a golden doodle, and then the fur and shedding of a husky? That's a lot of dog. That's a lot of beef. I'm actually impressed. I'm very impressed. If you do not follow our Knott's Adventure on Instagram, and you're like always kind of in the dark about what's happening at Knott's Berry Farm, well, here's your answer. You follow them on Instagram. They post more crucial info than Knott's themselves. uh, and they're super friendly, super approachable, and are always willing to kind of share insights and whatever they know, whatever they can. And they're very friendly people. And if you ever spot them in the park, kudos. That's like a unicorn. They're like Nazi unicorns. So coming up, not this Friday, next Friday, we start the Boysenberry Festival. So we have one more weekend of nada, and then we actually start the second season of fun. I know a lot of people were a little disappointed with Peanut Celebration. Let's hope that trend doesn't continue this year, because Boysenberry Festival is kind of the like unofficial kickoff to the year for nuts. As you can see, excuse me, as you can see, they've got all the entertainment back. I'm curious to see this great bank robbery. I liked the what was it called, Riverboat's Revenge, the melodrama that they did in the Birdcage Theater the last couple of years. I really liked that show. That show kind of actually the first time I ever went to Knott's by myself was when I went and watched that show. So I think it's just kind of one of those like member berries for me. Um, but yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Peanuts Celebration being underwhelming. Maybe we don't know if this is underwhelming or not. I mean, we can assume that it might be, but it could be great. And I'll tell you why we shouldn't assume that it's going to be underwhelming, because not only do we have all this again, all this great, and then Knott's Preserved is. Let's cross our fingers that this is the last year of Knott's Preserved. While I appreciate all of the effort and everything that gets put into that show, uh, I'd like something new there. Look at this. This is page 1 of your tasting card options. No, nothing is really as good as Fireman's Barbecue. It's pretty delicious. So this is page 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that's it, right? And then you go to drinks. Oh, this is just the other food options. But look at okay, that's 6 pages. 6 pages of food options. I mean, at this point, the lanyard's going to be the size of a CVS receipt. It's got to be. But there's a lot. I mean, let's start from the beginning here. Is this the beginning? This is the beginning. No, this is the beginning. Yeah, Goldmine Trail. So Goldmine Trail generally is visited the least. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they didn't pull out more stops for, what was it, the 70th anniversary of Peanuts. I'm glad. I like that they put a new show up, but the show wasn't anything great either. It actually felt like the production was less than This Is Your Life, Charlie Brown. But I think they put more into the nighttime stuff there with the Snoopy Legendary Rooftop Concert. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like Snoopy's Legendary Rooftop Concert should be something that they've considered doing year round. Not every weekend night, but like maybe a couple Saturdays a month, something. That's a great show. It's well produced. I know that the staging logistics of it would be tough, especially when you get into like Scary Farm, when you got the Carnival du Grotesque up there, and you got to keep all that stuff up, and But hey, just hire enough stagehands, they'll do anything. So I don't know what you guys are most excited for, but there is a ton of food, and I haven't even had a chance to go through any of it yet. Uh, but I think this year I'm gonna make it a point to what is that? Is that a waffle? I see a waffle. Where? In the Ghost Town Bakery. Hold on, I gotta find this. There's a brownie, tart, boysenberry maple syrup. Belgian waffle with boysenberry butter. Yep. That's the winner. That's the winner. I've been kind of John brings up a good point. The ice shows that they would do in the I guess it was the Good Time Theater. Was it Good Time Theater or was it John Wayne? I don't remember. But inside the theater, when they used to do the ice shows during the summertime, I feel like they should be maybe that's where they do um, the legendary rooftop concert throughout the summer. I mean, why not? Um, okay, so it is John Wayne. All right, touche. I don't know, Pilgrim. um, but I think that would be kind of cool, and that doesn't really involve that doesn't require anything more than what you're already doing throughout January and some of February. Uh, and people really like that show, and I think you would get more fresh eyeballs on it if you did it during the summer when you're going to have bigger crowds. And that shows more. It's such a party in itself. I feel like it would be a lot more memorable if you have it during the summertime. And when it's hot, you're gonna pack that place, and that place would be a party. That's what I think. I think, yeah, maybe they should put the Snoopy's Legendary Rooftop. They need to show more love to the Peanuts. I've been saying this for a long time now. They don't show enough love to the Peanuts. It's their main IP. It's a famous IP. Everybody knows who Snoopy is. Everybody. He's up there with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. The fact that they don't exploit that to its full capacity, like its full extent, baffles me. It's like they keep him hidden away in Camp Snoopy and just expect people to kind of go to him when they should just be shoving him in our face. But I digress. On to what made Knott's Berry Farm, the boysenberry. So here's more stuff. Baked cauliflower and chili sauce. That could be good. I think they had that last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to see if they had the chicken, was it chicken tikka nachos at I think they were at Fake Chipotle. I don't see them anywhere on here. Here we go. Costa, California, Cantina del Sur, okay, so they're just doing the tres leches cake. Boysenberry marinated chicken. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a Mexican food restaurant. Put it on some chips and make it nachos. What's in Baja Taqueria, at least? Sopes with boysenberry salsa. And, well, that's fine. Whatever. Farm bakery. Okay. Well, we'll find something. What's going on, Faith Keepers? Yo. That's how we say hi to each other. But back to the entertainment. So Crazy Kirk, they might as well just rename the wagon camp to Crazy Kirk stage. I don't know why they don't, because Crazy Kirk, they do play there year round. They're always there. And then I think during the summer, sometimes they'll play the Calico Mine stage. And then the Bluegrass duo at the barbecue, which they're always there as well. I feel like that's like they keep them there year round just as like the cop out, because they'll always say yes. And they're very Knott's Berry Farm branded because it's got that bluegrassy country twang to it. So it fits the vibe as long as you keep them close to Calico. But I'd like something more. I don't scare you. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would like to see. I all I can really say is I'm hoping that Boysenberry Festival goes off this year. This doesn't spark a lot of hope on second guess. I know I got really excited when I saw it at the beginning of this little rant here, but look, it is what it is. It's about the food, and look at all this food. Come on, look at all this food. So the next thing I want to talk about, and if you guys, we can kill the wagon camp. I don't know if you can really fit a new coaster in the wagon camp area, because Silver Bullet kind of butts up right against it. I like wagon camp. Here's the thing. I feel like Knott's has so much room elsewhere that they shouldn't be having to demolish existing things to bring new stuff in when it's not necessary. Uh, does have better food than most. I agree, and I feel like that's kind of what Boysenberry Festival is about. And this is the 10th year I think of the Boysenberry Festival, so it hasn't been going on very long. So it still has room to grow and get better and better. But I feel like Boysenberry Festival should be more of a festival, almost like a county fair or a farmer's market. Um, have I wouldn't mind seeing Jelly of the Month Club in the Wagon Camp. I feel like they're a little loud to be right there. Um, especially right there at the front entrance. I don't know if people want to get bombarded like that. I feel Jelly of the Month Club could play 3 shows a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during the summer. And then maybe 2 shows on Wednesday and Thursday, have Mondays and Tuesdays off, or Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, something like that. Play 2 shows on Monday on like the weekdays. Give them 3 shows on Saturdays and Sundays. Put them in the theater. That way they can utilize the lights and everything. And again, it's there's more seats in there, and people can escape the heat in there. And I really think, and it's spotlighting Snoopy and surrounding him with really talented musicians and really talented performers. And I think Knott's they're sitting on a gold mine there, and I think that's only doing it just during Peanut Celebration seems like a bit of a waste. I don't know how busy Jelly of the Month Club is the rest of the year. I mean, maybe they book tours all over the place. I don't know. All I know is that they're very talented. They're one of the best bands that Knott's has, and not having them during their busiest season seems like a bit of a waste. Just me. Abel, you're not going to be um, disappointed with the tasting card. Uh, the we do the tasting card every year, and last year we had to do 2 because we did so many on our first visit that we were like, and we kept like we did 3 on our first visit. We did 3 punches on our first visit, and we didn't even look through the whole car. We just did like what was kind of right in front of us. So I feel like just map out what you want, or you're gonna end up getting 2. And the tasting cards aren't even that much this year. What are they, $50 or something? But they're worth it. They really are worth it. Last year the portion sizes were really good. Andrea and I shared everything we got. So, and we're fine. Again, I'm a hefty individual, so if I think it's enough, then it should be enough for most people, right? I can't see what that is, John. I have. What is that? What is that emoji of? Oh, it's a jelly. Is that a jellyfish? Oh, Jelly of the Month Club. Ha ha! Nailed it. Got it. They just perform at different schools. Okay, so then why? Then I don't see why they wouldn't say yes to performing at Knott's Berry Farm, right? That would be weird if they turned it down. Um, let's go to here. Where are we? They just perform different schools. Okay, I just realized that I've been looking at the comments on my phone instead of doing this like an amateur. All right, so we're gonna start doing these. Okay, Daniel Augustin. Sorry, sorry I haven't keep commenting, and we'll get to him. And if we never get to Universal today, then we never get to Universal. That's kind of how this always goes anyway. I plan on talking Universal and stuff, and then I just get bogged down in Knott's. But that's okay. Knott's is home, right? Knott's is home. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's clean up a little bit here. Come on. Let's clean this up. Go back to here. Okay. Ghost Town Grill, Fireman Station, Miss Knott's Chicken, Miss Knott's Kitchen, and 30 Acres. Pretty darn good and consistent all year round. Very true. I will say Fireman's has been weird lately. I hear that I haven't been there in a little while because the line is just really long, but I hear that they charge extra for like certain sauces and stuff now, and they don't tell you until you get up there, and it's on like a little post-it note or something, which seems a little jank, but you're not wrong. Uh all of those restaurants are amazing. Um if you Ghost Town Grill is funny because it's closed on weekdays, so you kind of have to get in there when it's open. That was actually the first place that me and the kids ate on our very first visit to Knott's. So it was like our first impression, and we loved it. I haven't eaten there since. It's been a couple years since I've been there. I should probably take Andrea. I don't think she's ever eaten there, but we don't ever go on weekends, so it's rarely ever open when we go. We'll have to go during the summertime or something. But yeah, those all those restaurants, so super good. I love them. Where are we at? Chris, think they're using for Scary Farm this year. What were we talking about with that? I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. Um, Crazy Kirk, or are you talking about Jelly of the Month Club? Um, because they always use Crazy Kirk. All right, Jerome. Jerome says, "You think there's any truth to Knott's rumor about buying the old Sears building?" That's been a rumor for a long time. I don't, I don't know how much merit is in it. Probably about as much truth as them getting our big baddie coaster. You know, it's just one of those things that kind of bubbles up, and people want them to do it. Now, the problem really isn't that side of the property. The problem is they butt up against on Crescent. They're butting up against a retirement community, which makes it tough to build out that way and to build anything here's the problem. If you build stuff too high, you gotta deal with the noise, and they don't have trees and stuff that go high enough to really block that stuff in. Somebody brought up a good point about making the trees bigger in Camp Snoopy the other day, and I thought that was a good idea. But what I was getting at is on Crescent, you're dealing with the same problem on La Palma. On the other side of those, where the Chase Bank and stuff is, on the across beach, there's houses there too, similar to what you've got on Western, where you've got houses there. I Knott's is in a sense landlocked, and kind of saddled into. I don't want to say that they're too like. I don't think they're too confined, because a lot of people now are starting to give the notion that they should just build up, which I agree they should start building up. But they've got a lot of property, and I think if they were willing to kind of go the extra mile and do the things that needed to be done, spend the money that needed to be spent, they could definitely get Buena Park to go along with expansions. Um, a lot of people, especially people that I talk to now more and more, talk about Knott's wanting, or wanting Knott's to build a parking structure instead of having these big, long parking lots. And I agree with that. And that should have been done years ago. And I understand the monetary burden that poses, but I don't think that should be something that keeps them from doing it, because they have so much land dedicated to just parking spaces that could be used for other things to make that park great. And I'm not necessarily saying they should make it like this giant theme park, but maybe focus on making it a resort. Maybe you put a new hotel over in that parking lot. Maybe and then you focus on the lagoon area and make the lagoon area something between the hotel area, and with that hotel you make it a resort. You know what I mean? You make that hotel almost like self-containing, almost like a Great Wolf Lodge kind of thing, to where you have things in the hotel as well. And then I've always been an advocate of turning that lagoon into some sort of like creature house, an aquarium, a reptile house. I think a reptile house would be cool, but that you don't want to make it a separate gate. So maybe that becomes part of the hotel, a la how Vegas has certain attractions connected to their hotels. I don't know. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I don't think they're going to be looking into buying that Sears building anytime soon. I think they've got bigger fish to fry on the property that they have, and extending over to there, um, that may that may be asking too much. I may maybe expecting too much from them. Okay, Jonathan, change Farmer's Barbecue into the version of Woody's Roundup Barbecue at Disneyland. I never had Woody's Roundup Barbecue. Is it any good? Is that in DCA? Give me 1 second. Oh, I just turned my heater on. I don't want to do that. Like I said, I've been poked and prodded and beat up, you guys. It's been a rough week for me. You just saw me at my weakest right there. Nasal spray. I mean, if the food's good, I'm for that. But I think Fireman's Barbecue is, I think it's good as is. Personally, I think it's a staple to that section there, and Calico Ghost Town should always be exactly what it is now. There have been rumors that knife shop and the little toy gun store, the lease is ending on that. So they may end up turning it into something else. I think it's just going to probably turn into another merch shop or something of the sort. They could turn that into maybe Fireman's Barbecue moves over there, and then they can get rid of the spot right there, kind of in the middle, and then they can have more seating. I don't know, just spitballing, just shooting ideas. We're just shooting ideas, guys. We're just doing what we do. City of Buena Park should help assist Knott's in acquiring Old Sears property. It'd be great and powerful move. Yeah. Again, I don't. Buena Park and Knott's have kind of been at odds off and on for the last few years. And I think ever since the Giga Coaster rumor bubbled up, I think that kind of put a bad taste in Buena Park's mouth. But Buena Park, they've shown that they've already shown that they're willing to kind of work with Knott's on certain things. Like when they put Accelerator in, I know that I think they got pushed back from that because of the noise, because that's such a loud ride, and it's so close to the neighborhoods there, and I feel like that's why Accelerator doesn't have lights on it, which I think is dumb. I think Accelerator should have a light package. The fact that it doesn't is kind of a travesty. But you're right. I think if Buena Park and Six Flags Cedar Fair kind of got together, became a team, you've got a formidable asset right there, and you can only do good. I feel like, I think I've said this before, I feel like they're not willing to crack the eggs to make the omelet yet. And maybe it's just a slow burn. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a slow burn. Oh yeah. So Chris, yeah. So you were talking about Jelly of the Month Club. Yeah. I think they should be. I think they should use them year round. I really do. I like Jelly of the Month Club. I don't like a lot of the like cover bands and stuff that they have at Knott's. There's one cover band. I don't remember. I think it's Hiatus. No, it's not Hiatus. There's one cover band that I like during Knott's, and the rest of them I don't really care for. I'm a snobby musician, so I'm very like I'm not gonna say tough to impress, because I'm not, but I'm very stubborn about what I like and what I don't like. Or maybe I'm just jealous because they're up there and I'm not. It could always be that, right? Old Sears will be turned into 1,300 housing. So that's right. I forgot about that. They were gonna turn it into condos, I think. I don't know who bought it. I don't ever remember seeing a sign up there, but I do know that's right. Somebody did buy it, and that's why they don't have the Spirit Halloween store there anymore. Good research. That's good knowledge, Chris. Very good knowledge. What do we got? Why not build mid-rise parking structures around the hotel tower? Muffle the sound like a sound wall source. I actually like the idea of building a parking structure next to the hotel, and then using the south lot for more park space, and then just how they have the wall around like the backstaging area, that big tall wall. Just continue that all the way down. Because I was told that there was a possibility that Camp Snoopy, before it got renovated, was going to move over to the back corner because it provided the least amount of noise pollution. Now, there's not really a lot of spots in the park that they can do that with. I mean, I would love to actually see them expand maybe even like the wilderness area out that way. But they've got a lot of backstaging back there that they would have to figure out what to do with. That warehouse, that gigantic storeroom that they have back there. They'd have to figure out all kinds of things. And I feel like I've made this point before. All of that stuff in the backstaging area should be moved technically off property, and they should be putting it over in La Palma or over in Western. I feel like if they put those on La Palma, that provides more soundproofing as well in front of the houses on the other side of that. Same thing with Western, but then you got the issue of trucks coming in and loading and whatever. But that's stuff that they'd have to go around and get permission from all of those residents that kind of border that area. But yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of any idea that requires them to, it doesn't require, but gives them the chance to muffle the sound and allow them the opportunity to build more. I'm all for that. Always. I'm always a fan of that. All right. Love Knott's a lot, but I'm always going to be honest with it about the food. I received dry ribs from Fireman's 30 Acres Kitchen. Well, that's a shame. And 30 acres. That's bad. Cold burgers, undercooked chicken. So I'm with you here. I've had pretty bad food experiences at Knott's. A lot of the times, it's toward the end of the day or toward the end of a season. Knott's is notorious for using every bit of what they have before ordering something new. Rebecca, Andrea and I, we got, I don't remember what we got. We got some sort of fries. And it was supposed to be like chicken fries, something for Boysenberry Festival. And literally, they gave us fries, and they were like room temperature fries and sour cream and chives. That's all they put in it. And they told us they didn't have anything else. But they didn't tell us. I'm so sorry, you guys. They didn't tell us that before we ordered it. They told us that after we gave it to them and we asked them, "What the heck is this?" So yeah, that do be aware that that happens. I'm sorry that happened to you. That's Hollywood, baby. Show me a theme park that doesn't have, that has a 100% food score. Not making excuses for Knott's at all, because like I said, I've had bad food there before, and it's it's just one of those things where it's just like you gotta just bite the bullet and move on, I guess. I don't know. Probably north. Yeah, so they do. So if you look, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to I'm gonna Google Map so we can look at this and stop just talking about it. I feel like a coke fiend. My freaking nose. Yeah, so we can look at this and we can talk about it, and we'll we can fantasy book for Knott's Berry Farm. How's that sound? Sound like fun? That's what this is. That's what this is going to turn into today. It's not going to turn into theme park jamboree like was my original plan. We're just going to do this. Okay, so here we are. I'll put it right there, and we'll screen share it, and then we can all kind of look and hope and dream. Boop. Okay, so here's where we are now. See, now is where I can use my phone for what's it called? So here's Knott's. Hold on. I just realized I have to do this. I do this. Okay. Better? Is this better? Everybody can see the map now. God. Okay, so let's look at, so here, this is where Knott's has their actual like amusement area, right? Just boop, just that little spot. From there down, and it goes up to like here, right? And then kind of Ghost Rider kind of goes like down there. But if you look, and here's what I mean by the staging area. So all this right here, you have all this staging area, right? Can you guys even see my? Yeah, you can. You have all this staging area. I feel like this can all be moved to here or here, which would be better because they've already got stables up here. This is where they keep all the horses and the stagecoaches. And I feel like this would be better suited for like an industrial size building and stuff. Now I know you're saying, Josh, but they got these warehouses down here for Scary Farm, man. What are you talking about? What are you doing? Look at all this stuff. This is an old picture. I just got bloodlines out there. If you haven't seen it yet, that's all gone. And there's they don't have the extension for Boogeyman either. Anyway, I honestly, like, I would totally be okay with them not bulldozing, well, yeah, moving this building, these buildings, especially these ones. Even if you just kept these, fine. We'll just say you keep these, all of these, because this is like training and stuff here. Like, this is where they have their training area and stuff. This is all storage, right? But this could all go yonder, right? Boom. Boom, right there. And if you wanted to keep this little bit here for auxiliary parking, fine. But I think you can do without this as a parking space. I think this is wasted space. And with those buildings, you do soundproof a little bit from this neighborhood here. Okay, so Accelerator can maybe then we can get a light package on Accelerator. And with that opening up, you can build a parking structure here. Maybe even extend it around, like boom. Nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to block the hotel. But yeah, you build a parking structure here. Open this all up for a new land. What kind of land? I don't know, but maybe to keep the sound from getting too crazy. Because this is what I was talking about. This is the retirement center here, and then you got the LDS church, and then like some apartments and stuff. Maybe dark rides. Maybe a couple dark rides, right? Indoor rides that can contain the sound. Knott's could definitely do with a couple of those. You could even probably recycle this giant building into a dark ride. Just don't make it like that dark ride. That dark ride. So, okay, right? So you've got that. Let me try to catch up with any comments that we have. Probably so yeah. So that kind of goes over the property on the ends of the park, right? Johnny Rockets turning in and out. So I mentioned that in my last vlog that I dropped, I believe, yesterday. I'm not for it. It's still like I feel like if you're gonna have a burger place there, just keep Johnny Rockets there. But I wanted them to put the Pacific Scrambler back indoors. There was a time back in the day when that that whole area was like an inside place, and they had the Pacific Scrambler in there, and they had music blasting in there and lights going off, and it disoriented you even more. And if you can find footage of it, it's really hard to find, but it's out there. I know that it's out there. But it was super cool, and that really gives super cool boardwalky vibes. When you have rides like that indoors. So yeah, okay. So Daniel, you remember, yeah? Where are we at? Boom. You remember? It had like music and lighting and all that stuff. And that's I feel like that's the party. That's the life that end of the park needs because right now, from what I'm hearing from everybody, is Boardwalk is kind of struggling, which kind of sucks. But I don't know. Okay, so let me find out where I am here. Johnny Rock is in and out within the park. So here we go. Abel, what are we looking at here? Cedar Fair should invest as this is one of their few year-round parks. And this is the park that they get the highest gate total from, because you're right, it's year-round, and I mean technically Six Flags Magic Mountain is open year-round, but for the first quarter of the year, it's only open on weekends. So yeah, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be investing heavily in this park. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a theme park, like an amusement park. It can be a family park. It can be a resort. Let's go back to our map. So we mentioned, so here's the Sears that everybody was talking about. The problem with buying the Sears and all this, you've got this. I don't know what this is anymore. I think this is a Tesla service station or something. But they need to do something with this shopping center because it's trash. It's like it's always empty. Anyway, so I a couple years ago I went back and I tediously counted the amount of parking spaces in this main lot here, including these auxiliary spaces and these in here. You can fit a 5-story parking structure in this back section right here. 5 stories, and you get this many. I don't know. Now with the meal plan. Yeah. It's what a hamburger's all. Is that still their motto? It's got to be what their motto is, right? What did I'm sorry. I'm going through comments. I want to make sure I get everybody. Where did we did this one? Yeah. So this was the last one that I did. I agree. Yeah, here we go. All right. Move the admin building, expanded the backlot area, and created new landing. See, and yeah, that's actually not a bad idea either. You can create some sort of like desert, like a Mojave Desert landscape, and you could create some pretty cool dark. You know what would be dope? Since they are part of Six Flags anyway, is like a Coyote Roadrunner area. I know that takes place in New Mexico, but it's deserty. I don't know. Or you can put Spike out there, Snoopy's cousin, and have like Spike going through all kinds of. I don't know. There's all kinds of things you can do, and maybe put the Giga out there. the Giga always gets me going. Okay. So the seasonal food is better because it's more consistent. Merry Farm was awesome. Peanuts Festival is great. I like the stuff that I have from the Peanuts Festival this year. I got to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of mac and cheese, but I liked the idea. I know it was not. That's a hot take. It was not super popular, but I don't know. I like the idea. Yeah. So this is what I mean. So a parking lot like Mickey and Friends. So you have this here, right? Parking lot, and then you've got all this space right here. You can build a hotel, resort area. Boom. Maybe even like 2 hotels, like Knott's Towers. And then you can you connect this area and you turn this into some sort of like lagoon attraction. Um, you can have it with like you get access from the hotel, right? From the resort. Uh, like uh what's the play the like the what's in the Mirage in Vegas? It's the Secret Garden. I forgot what it's called. The tiger people. Um or the aquarium at Mandalay Bay. Uh or something like that, right? Some sort of something that Disneyland doesn't have and won't do. That's my opinion. I think they should do. Discovery Kingdom has the zoo because they used to be Marine World, and they started as just basically a safari park, and then they started adding when Six Flags bought them. They started adding all the roller coasters and stuff. Yeah, not it's Spike is Snoopy's brother. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember the lineage, but yeah. So I think if you look at the amount of room that they have, they're only using this. That's it. They have, oh, I guess they're using this too. But look, they've got the preferred parking, which I got to be honest with you, it's just not worth the money. Look at how far away it is. This is the front gate over here. You got to park all the way over here to walk all the way up here. And pay an extra like $30 or $20. You just park right here and walk right across the thing. Like, why would anybody do that? And it's not like it's gated or anything either. So that never stuck with me. Like I was never a fan of that. Okay, where are we here? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody already bought that property. Yeah. Did you guys hear somebody knock? What is happening right now? Okay, so you said Spike is Snoopy's brother. Okay. No park has an industrious wasteland theme. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Um, and it would be different. And come to think of it, really only one park has like a horror theme land, and that park's not even open yet. You know what I'm talking about. Why couldn't Knott's do kind of the same thing? Maybe explore the haunted lineage of California. Fix a couple of lights and lampposts near the tunnel. Are there lights out over there? I haven't been in that parking lot in a while. I haven't even been to Knott's at night in months. I really dropped the ball, man. Actually, that's not true. I went not that long ago, but we parked over in a corner like dummies. Floating the idea, turn Calico Mine into a dark ride with Coaster Hybrid. I have to stop you. I'm sorry. The Calico Mine ride is like the first ever dark ride ever built in that space. It's the main inspiration for everything that you see at Disneyland. And as much as it's the cool idea, I would actually rather build something new with this idea in mind. But I could never get behind doing anything to the Calico Mine ride just because of what it represents. But I mean, these like family style like thrill dark rides are becoming a thing now, right? I feel like they're starting to become a thing. Single ore carts on a runaway mine, yeah, like kind of like Donkey Kong, but not as cartoony, right? I think that would be super cool, like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Nobody's really done that, like runaway carts. I think that would be fun, and you can make it creepy and whatever. Maybe that goes in the abandoned industrial wasteland haunted
desert part of California. This haunted silver mine. This haunted silver mine that's in the real Calico. Up the road. Could be kind of cool. Wait, what happened? Didn't reopen today. Was it supposed to be today? I thought it was supposed to open tomorrow. Well, that sounds about right. Even when they don't have big plans for it on the refurb, they're still going to miss their target dates. Knott's has a problem with, I don't know if it's a staffing issue or if it's an urgency issue, but I don't know. It feels like they're just not, they don't take this stuff serious, man. It's not a good look. It's not a professional look. It makes me sad because I really want, I want to be proud to be like a supporter of Knott's, and sometimes it's a little embarrassing. And it's not even like the big stuff, like the weird TikTok things that you see, but it's little things like this, which happens everywhere. But I don't know. It seems like it sticks out more with Knott's because it happens all the time. So it's more of like of course than anything else. Bring back soapbox racers. A lot of people were actually thinking that was going to happen before they reopened Accelerator. And I was kind of an advocate for it. I was kind of like, yeah, wait, why not? Why not? If we're not going to get Accelerator back, then we might as well get soapbox racers back. But that's another thing that they could think about doing in a new area of the park. Is that what it is? You got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Gotta have that cowbell, baby. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Maybe a little bit more cowbell. They got horses, no cows. That's what they need in the livery stables. So, from what I hear about mobile ordering, Chris said more people want mobile order at Knott's. What I hear, it's in the works, and it's supposed to be in one of the updated versions of the app that comes out later this year. How much stock you want to put into that, I don't know. But I've been when they were bringing out the new app, I was saying mobile order needs to be like the most important thing that they put on it. But we're still waiting to see, and they're supposed to do it over at Magic Mountain as well. Or are they already doing it at Magic Mountain? Maybe they're already doing it. I don't know. But that's in the works. I know it's in the works. When we get it, I'm not sure. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Because if you, especially you're going to start to see it happening more and more. The lines for food is outrageous, and that's supposed to be kind of like your haven when the lines are too long to ride rides. You go, okay, well, we can go get some food for now. And then the line for food is 30, 35, 40 minutes. It shouldn't be like that. And then you get all the way up there and they're out of ice. So anyway. All right. Thankfully, the park safety with the fights have gotten. So yeah, and it's funny because I've noticed personally the amount, like the security guard presence is huge because I haven't really had an issue with line jumpers as much either. That's something that's always going to be there. The people will find ways to cut lines, but it's not really as bad as it used to be. It was bad for a second, like it was a big deal, and I think the chaperone policy really helped keep like the riffraff down to a minimum, which is so nice. It makes it so much better. So I think Fiesta Village will get a scare zone this year, next year. Fiesta Village did used to be a scare zone. And I think it desperately needs something there, especially because what's it called? Forsaken Lake is kind of losing its luster. When that scare zone first came out, it was like a big deal. And I remember like halfway through the first season, what was it, like 2017 or 2018? It was already just kind of dying down. And I feel like that area of the park does need to kind of wake up. I like the idea of having the lantern interaction on the pyramid, but yeah, that whole it's right there. It's in your face. It needs to be Fiesta de los Muertos. It needs to be the celebration of the dead. It has to be. And the fact that they haven't done it yet kills me because that place looks awesome at night. Even not during Scary Farm, just at night in general, with like all the little lanterns and stuff hanging out of the trees, the lights on the rides. That place is awesome, and they need to take advantage of that. I feel like that's just these little things that Knott's needs to do. Magic Mountain needs a full service restaurant. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know what would be dope is if they turn the tower into a restaurant. Maybe they should do that. There's still rumors in the same space that were there before that it was going to get redone. That they were gonna redo the foundation and bring the Sky Tower back again. They should make that a restaurant. How sick would that be? That would be dope. High ticket prices also keep. Are the ticket prices high now? I don't know. Maybe I think I'm just comparing them to everywhere else. But Knott's ticket prices are like the best value of any park in America. It seems like. But you might be right. When all else fails, price the riffraff out. I'm I'm never against that, especially if it becomes a debilitating problem. I don't want it. I don't like Knott's um, reputation to be a place where everybody comes and fights and it's not a safe place. You know what I mean? I don't like that, and they've addressed that over the last couple of years since the that thing that occurred. What was it in 2023 or something, or 2022? So it's gotten much better now, which is nice. Chris, I remember working at one point when my food line was 3 hours long for a hot dog. I also got to work a transition from cash to cash. Oh, I bet that was so much fun. Cash to cashless. There's still people in there that are asking if places take cash. And what makes it even harder is a lot of these outside vendors that they bring in for Boysenberry Festival and Scary Farm and Merry Farm. I guess it's not Scary Farm, but like Merry Farm. And is it the summer? No, they don't have the vendors during the summer, right? I think it's just Merry Farm and Boysenberry Festival. A lot of them take cash and only cash. So I don't know. It's gotten better. Like a lot of them take the phone, the Apple Pay now, but there was a time when it was just like oof. So I respect Chris for having to go through that. I do not envy you. Crash, what's up, dude? You made it. Scare zone, but because of the new floor, they don't want any sliders. Well, they don't need sliders. I mean, that's fine. They can just tell them not to have sliders. You know what they can do is, you know how Horror Nights has those big crows, like the stilt crows? They had something like that when they were doing their Fiesta Village, like they did the cavalcades when Fiesta Village opened, and they were doing like Fiesta nights or whatever, where they had the fireworks and stuff. You can just like rat-a-tat those out and make giant ravens or something. They can make, they can put stilt walkers over there. They put stilt walkers everywhere else. I definitely no sliders in that area, because of it's like that weird cobblestone stuff. But it does need to be a scare zone. I think it definitely needs to be a scare zone. Unpopular opinion: Knott's needs to raise prices or expand the crowds. I agree. Improve the operation of storage lockers at the end of every major ride. So I think, yeah, so the cubby and locker situation is a big reason why a lot of these lines get so long and why the operations are so slow, especially on rides like Accelerator. Now, Accelerator has a problem where the ride's just not long enough. But if you had two trains, there would be a chance that you could get people on and off. But it's hard when you've got to go across the track, put stuff in a cubby, and come back. Pony Express is the same way. I really like. I'm not going to say that I don't like the idea of having cubbies accessible, but I feel like they should be accessible somewhere else. Like, I'm just thinking off the cuff right now. You can't really have them in the line because then you got to go back. Well, yeah, you can. There's certain spots in the accelerator, like where they have the photo op. You can put lockers there, little cubbies or whatever, something there. Um, just something that keeps people from having to go put stuff away and come back. They need to just they need to be better at transitioning on off on off on off. The 5 minute intervals between rides on accelerator, it sucks. You know, it's anytime the line's over 15 minutes, I don't want to ride it because it takes too long. That's just me. Um, but as far as raising prices, I'm for that too. As long as what we're raising, as long as what we're paying more for comes to fruition. And like I said before, it seems like Knott's is not willing to crack the eggs to make the omelet, which is a shame because I feel like they really should. I don't uh, I don't see why they I don't see a real reason why they wouldn't do that. Why they're not doing it now. Maybe they've got something in the works. Maybe Six Flags wants to do something else first. Maybe they want to get the Thrill Glider at Magic Mountain. Maybe they want to get that out of the way first and really pay attention to that. I know they. I think Crash. I think you told me that, or was it Tall Guy? That Magic Mountain is working with the Scary Farm team to fix their Halloween event because it was kind of a disaster last year. So they got to figure out. They just got to try to figure out how to balance things. But Knott's can't go by the wayside. It can't stay in the state that it's in for very much longer because people aren't going to have it. Yeah, I get that it's cheap and it's the best value of any theme park in the area, but it's very easy to get bored there. And I think they need to. Right now they need to at least announce some sort of growth, or I don't know, maybe get your freaking ride, your tent pole ride, your flagpole ride fixed. You know, Montezuma's been sitting in shambles for 3 years now. Get that figured out. And I think a lot of this has to do with their supply chain issues too. Maybe you think about using developers that you don't have to go get the parts from because they're only in Germany. Woosah. Couple more, and then I gotta go to bed, you guys. Jeez, you guys are keeping me awake. Fiesta Village Scare Zone used to be Day of the Dead theme. Yeah. They got offended. How do you get offended at that? People get offended at everything. I don't know. That's ridiculous. IP maze, nah. They don't need to. They're doing great as is without IPs. I think the closest they got was Pinocchio, right? They had the Pinocchio maze a few years ago, and that was rad. I'm not opposed to stuff like that, some sort of like Grim Fairy Tale or something they want to bring in. But I don't like an actual IP. Nah, they don't have to. I feel like they're the kind of they're the park that gets away with doing all original stuff. And the fact that they don't change every maze every year like Horror Nights does. They do like 2 every year, and they you bring them in and out every 5 years or so. They can afford to have a creative team that comes up with original stuff every time. So I don't see them ever bringing in an IP. Type of Universal Vegas Halloween maze, no filming allowed like in Florida. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I think if they do like a media day where they can have POVs so people online can see, they can use that as marketing. I don't see why they wouldn't do that because that's free promotions for them. So that would be stupid to not do it. But yeah, I'm for that. I don't even like, even though I do it sometimes, I don't even like filming in the mazes at Knott's or at Horror Nights or at Fright Fest or at even the Hayride or whatever. The Hayride's fine, but filming inside haunted houses is it's gotten a little out of hand. And Horror Nights really started feeling it last year. If you haven't seen the video with SoCal Tall Guy where he gets followed by the worker who's like just sees him with his camera out, and he wasn't even really filming anything, but he just sees him, and he's like just pushing them to go through, because I think they're just getting sick of it. Because everybody has to get the shot, everybody has to get the scare, and those lines, they're long enough. We don't need to deal with that anymore. So I'm all for this. I'm for them not allowing filming. I'm gonna go, so it's fine. I'll keep it. You know, I'll keep it a surprise. So they keep taking prices low, but raise prices on food and merchandise. Yeah, they did. They said that when they merged, right? Which again is fine, but I gotta be honest, I kind of prefer the other way around. But there's a reason why. I mean, because Knott's gets super packed on the weekends, and it's because it's a low ticket, it's a low gate price. But I mean, it's smart business wise. Get them in, and they'll spend the money when they're in the park. I mean, why wouldn't they? What else are they going to spend the money on? They're already in there. Yeah, poor Monty. I know maybe the ghost of Monty is what's haunting my garage right now. Someday, I have a feeling if you've seen Adventures with David's video, there was a guy up there surveying something, and they moved that plaque to the entryway, the whatever it's called, the historic plaque. They're doing something there. They wrapped it all up with tarp again, and they they roped off the little entryway there. So if they're not doing something yet, they're planning on doing something very, very soon. Knott's cut a lot of entertainment. Don't think they'll have money for an IP. I don't even think it's that they have money. They don't have money for it. They definitely have the money for an IP. I just don't think they want to. And I don't think they need to. But they do have money for it. But why spend that money there when you can spend it somewhere else? You know what I mean? And part of the charm with Knott's is that they don't have IPs. Everything is original and creative. From we get our best stuff from like oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting all their names. It's Daniel Miller, Gloria, and I don't remember her last name. Glow, the bride, and what's his name? John something. It's getting late. My caffeine's wearing off. Do I think HHN Hollywood will ban filming this year? I don't think they'll ban filming. I think they'll enforce it a lot more. I think they're going to be a lot stricter on it. I think it's going to be one of those things where they're going to give us one last chance. And if they see a lot of people just sitting there with the phones like they do and keeping the conga line back, because I swear to God, stopping inside a maze is one of the most infuriating things in the world to me. Just walk, people. Just keep walking. If you get scared, oh my goodness, keep walking. But I don't think they'll ban it this year, but I definitely think they're going to keep a closer eye on it. And if it's bad, maybe they ban it next year. Maybe it's something that they incorporate into their rules. At least inside the mazes. Obviously, you'll be allowed to film outside, but inside the mazes, I don't know. Okay, this will be the last one, I think, because my voice is starting to go too. Jesus. I'm a catty little bitch today. Why do you think they didn't go continuous Omnimover system for Berry Tales? Operations are terrible on that ride. That's a good question. I one of many about, first of all, why Berry Tales? I mean, I honestly, like, it would probably be better, but I mean, that ride is such a nightmare operationally anyway when it's not an Omnimover. Can you imagine the amount of times you would get stuck in that ride just because it had to, I mean, it had to break down, while you're putting people in. And Berry Tales is a conundrum to me. I don't know why that ride is still there. It's always broken, and I never hear anything but bad things about it. It hasn't worked optimally in 5 years since COVID. And I don't even think it was open during COVID. I don't think. Yeah. Berry Tales needs to go away. It really does. I love you, Knott's Berry Farm. That's not it. Berry Tales is not it. Oh, guys. Okay. I'm going to do this just to make myself feel better. Thank you, Scott. I am a man. That's for sure. They invited all the YouTubers for media event. Don't think it'll ever be banned. Yeah, he's speaking for and this is like I was saying for the Vegas thing. Like maybe you have a media night where you bring in the vloggers and stuff and you let them shoot through, which they do anyway. They always have a media preview night. And then after that, they don't allow it. New rides next year at Knott's. I don't know. Can we just get the rides that we're supposed to get working? I mean, can we get airmail back in Camp Snoopy instead of a giant brown wall? Um, I'm all for them just fixing what they need to fix first, and then let's figure it out. Because we just spent the last hour plus talking about things that Knott's could do and that they should do, and none of these are bad ideas at all. Like they're all good ideas, and they all are based in reality. Nothing that any of you guys have said tonight has been like wildly out of left field, except for wanting to get rid of the Calico mine. You know who you are. I'm gonna go back through, and I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna buy you a boysenberry cheesecake for being brave. Yeah. Can we get Monty back? Let's focus on that stuff first, right? Can we just get Knott's back to what Knott's is supposed to be, and then we'll just start over from there. Then we can just all take a deep breath and start over from there, right? Anyway, okay. Thank you guys so much for being here, for sticking through this, for talking with me, keeping me company for the last hour and a half. I love to do this. I wish I could do this more, and I really want to. And as long as you guys are here and participating, it makes it so much easier. I had a bunch of stuff planned for Epic Universe and stuff that I just never got to, and that's kind of seems the way that this goes. You guys would rather discuss Knott's, and you know what? That's totally fine with me. I'm totally okay discussing Knott's because Knott's is our baby, right? Knott's is home, and we want Knott's to be we want Knott's to be the alpha down here, and it's the love shows through you guys, and I appreciate it. It's just you, Jonathan. All right, okay. Well, you wait, buddy. You just wait. But yeah. So thank you guys again so much. I'm also trying to do live streams every Monday or Tuesday whenever I go to Knott's. I'll try to give more of a heads up with that as much as I can. I promise you. I owe you the cheesecake, John. All right. And yeah, and again, I don't really know what my plans are for next week or not. I just need to get through this week, and then we'll figure it out. So thank you guys, and till we see you up on the mountain, out at the studios, or maybe at home. We call the farm home. Catch y'all on the flip.